Seriously. Oh, Raya, what is that, bro? You gotta get a better kick than that, mate. Keep the shape. Oh, Rice, what are you doing, man? Come on, stop him. All right. Martinelli, get rid. Oh, come on. Keep the shape. Stop the cross. You're taking the fucking piss. You're taking the fucking piss. You're taking the piss. You are taking... No. You're taking the fucking piss. You're taking the absolute piss. You're taking the fucking piss. No. Trooper, stay calm. Trooper, stay calm. Don't lose it. Don't lose it, bro. Don't lose it, bro. Don't lose it, bro. Don't lose it. Don't lose it. Don't lose it.
Calling himself Trooper.
Don't lose it. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't
do it. Fucking do it.
Don't do it, troops. Don't
do it. Do it.
Stay calm.
Do it.
Stay calm.
Do it.
Stay calm, bro. Stay calm, bro. Stay calm. Don't do it. There's still a second leg. Relax. It's okay. It will be all right. Stay calm. Still a second leg. We're not gonna do it. We are not gonna do it. This fucking David Raya guy. We are not gonna do it. This David Raya guy. We are not gonna do it. We are not.
Do it.
We are not. We will not do it. We will not do it, blood. This David Raya guy, bro. This guy. Oh my days. What is wrong with this fucking club? What is wrong with you, man? You want to shoot? You want to shoot in the 95th fucking minute? You ain't shot for the whole game, and you want to shoot in the 95th minute? You dickheads! You dickheads! You clowns! 95 minutes! You want to shoot? Dickhead! Pricks! 95 minutes, no shot! Now you want to shoot!
Everything, down to the last minute details.
Brilliant.
Well, do it.
Listen, you can always count on Troops not to let you down in that one.
Wait, it's when he started calling himself Trooper. Don't do it, Trooper. Don't do it, Trooper. Not even Troops, Trooper.
Oh, brilliant, man.
You know,
that was a lovely way to warm up the show, to be fair. It felt like I was at the movies and I was just watching the trailer, but it was like the perfect trailer.
That was all Ty, by the way. Ty came in before the chat and thought, guys, I found this video. Ty was like, I found this watch along, guys. You have to watch Creed's reaction. And I was like, you sure you want to do that? I was like, God, you know what? Go on then.
Go on then. Oh, go on then.
Go on then, draw for the two. Oh, Troops, we love that. Guys, make sure you're liking the video. Make sure you're subscribing just for that, because we've got a lot to talk about. Premier League can go aside for a moment because we are hoping for an Arsenal representative. We are hoping for one. So don't feel like you're defenseless. But, you know, we have to talk on it. Arsenal 0, Porto 1 in Portugal. We had videos of a gal saying our 11 is better than Real Madrid's.
No.
Do you remember that? Our 11's better than Real Madrid's, a gal. Crazy. You go to Porto.
And then they come up, and then it seems to be a thing in Europe. They come up against a Portuguese team and get knocked out. I know they're knocked out yet, but you know, last season Sporting,
it was the Europa League last year. You know what I mean?
And I saw Gunnar King put wait till we get them back at the Emirates. I thought I heard that last year as well. Sporting went there and on penalties kept composed. Look, I think they will beat Porto in the second leg. The mad thing is, do you know what? This might be what us. If it was any other club, do you know what I'd say? They might learn from this, and in the quarters, act different. They won't, though, will they? They'll still be, when they win the second leg, they'll still be out here going, that's what I'm saying, bring us Real Madrid again.
Yep.
Right. But look, this is a thing in the Champions League. Like, I've learned the hard way. Yeah. Monaco, Lyon. Right. It's different, the Champions League. These two-legged games in the Champions League knockout stages, yeah, no one has respect for anyone. Do you know? No one has respect for anyone.
You know
Anyone
what? They
can get it.
summed it up perfectly, Daps. Even in the press conference, Diogo Costa, everyone knows obviously about Costa and that. He come out and said, you know, if they're meant to be the third favourites, like everyone's saying they are, then come here and show us that they are. And then the coach come out yesterday and goes, look, Arsenal were trying to play. We played to win. And I was like, yo, do you know what? Of course, I agree with you. Second leg, they should do them. But right now, here and now, there's actually a lot to debunk. Yeah, Arsenal should do the second leg, but I'm not going to let them get away with it. Saka, absolutely poor. Martinelli, done nothing. No shots on target in 90 minutes. In 90 minutes.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but you scored 11 in your last 2 games, and then everyone's getting super confident and everything. I'm going to be real. I know that you're going to probably win the second leg, but we'll talk about that in 2 weeks. To have no shots on target in 90 minutes in a knockout game is unacceptable. Bayern didn't do that against Lazio, and that was the first time in 11 years. That goes to show how rarely that happens. If you're an Arsenal team that are going for the Premier League, and you're an Arsenal team that everyone's saying you can get to the semi-finals, like me and Mons discussed last week, you should be having a shot on target, Daps. 100%.
Oh, no, 100%. Bro, the thing is, like, I saw someone in the comments just said it. Chelsea will, Porto will shithouse their way through. Like, Porto can do the shithouse thing. Bro, they've got a certain defender that literally made up shithousery.
Yep. And he's 41 on Monday.
Bro, mad, innit? Mad. Mad. But I'm not going to lie. Look, I want Porto in the next round badly because I want to go to Porto. So I was thinking there's no chance we're getting Porto now. Maybe there is.
Yeah, do you know what? Weirder things have happened in football, and at the end of the day, let's be real. Despite we all respect what Arsenal can do in terms of when they play their good football and everything, they've not been in this sort of situation for a long time. They haven't been in the Champions League for a while. They've not had to bounce back from a 1-0 deficit. Obviously, the away will don't count, but at the end of the day, football is football, and Porto are going to come there. And like you said, if they can make it gritty, get through the first 20 minutes, you never know. And Don, I know you've probably got a lot to say. You know, you're on time, which I love. You've made it on time because I know you feel like you've got a lot to say. But you can start, you know. Are you going with Arsenal? Are you going to talk on the Saka stuff you've been speaking on in big games?
So before he does, can I just ask someone in the comments, because someone in the comments might need to go away and look at this. So, sorry, Don, you can go after this. But has anyone ever, on their first season back in the Champions League for, I think, what is this, Arsenal's first time back in the Champions League for...
About 7 years. 7 years.
Right. Has anyone come? Let's say 5. Has anyone ever come in to the Champions League for the first time in, say, 5 years and won it?
Not that I can think of.
Nah. That's the bit. That's the bit.
But the teams that win it are always in it more time. The teams that win it are always in it more time. So
yeah, well, and that's
you don't go no 5-year break.
The bit that's confused me massively, is how Arsenal fans are so confident in the Champions League when they haven't been in it for 7 years, and secondly, they're not in it as the champions of their country. Yeah, but they seem so confident that they can, and that's where, like, obviously, me and Traps were just going back and forth in the group chat. That's where I don't get it. Like, even last season, before we won it, when people were going, Daps, is City going to win the Champions League this season? I was going, don't know, man, because listen, you get one of these heritage teams and it's long. Right? And I don't understand their disrespect towards this trophy. I'm not going to lie, like it.
It's kind of arrogant that they've no disrespect. They've never won it, but they're talking like they have won it. It feels like they've won it before. That's a bit how I get the vibe.
And look, and I remember me and Cass having a conversation about 1.5 years ago, where I said, if you got back in the Champions League, could you win it? And he goes, why couldn't we? And I understood that because if you're Man United, if you're a Liverpool, if you're a team that has won it and have history of going a long way in it for many, many moons, I understand why you could have that belief. But Arsenal had, what was it, 20 years in a row or something like that in the Champions League. and reached one final.
One final,
in that
yeah.
whole time. They
Mhm.
reached one semi-final in that whole time. City reached semi-final the last 3 years on the bounce, right? And I'm like, I don't understand where this overconfidence with the Champions League is. League one thing, but the Champions League, because we know it's different. The Champions League is so different to the league.
I think it's, you know what? I think it's like that shiny toy syndrome where you haven't been in the Champions League for so long, so you've got so much energy now you're back into it, and then you haven't challenged for the Premier League for quite a few years, and all of a sudden last year you're winning for 75%, 80% of the season, and then you fall off, and it's like they've got so much energy based off, let's be real, failure really, because they didn't win the league.
But then the maddest thing is, the other thing is, if we even look at their most recent European kind of journey last season, they got knocked out. They couldn't even reach, they got knocked out in the quarters.
In the quarters, yeah, by Sporting Lisbon, yeah.
Of the Europa. But then a season later, they're going, yeah, why can't we win the Champions League? Well, you can't win you ain't won the league you're in. You fucking got knocked out of the quarters. Maybe that's why you can't win it just in your first year back in the Champions League.
Yeah,
so
maybe
this is what they need.
Yeah, it is. Guys, make sure you're running up the likes, by the way. Nearly 400 of you in the building. Make sure you do smash the like button. It really does help. Make sure you subscribe to Big Six Bounce as well. Check out all the content down below. But Don, it's your time, my brother. Yeah, man, you're on time. You got a platform to cook on. Let your speech run, my man.
Bro, I mean, is anyone surprised that Arsenal got scared away from home? You know, when they haven't got Ashburton. The Ashburton boys to be banging on the drums, with their black shirts. Remember last season when they were in the tunnel? Bro, they can hold this because their fan base before the game, arrogant, deluded bunch. Yeah, this is a competition that you've got to respect, bro. Especially when you haven't got no European heritage. And like Daps has said, especially when you haven't been in that competition for 7 years, bro. Yeah. You've got a team full of inexperienced players that haven't been in a situation like this. You've got an experienced manager who still is yet to win a knockout game in Europe, yeah, and has bottled Europe on multiple occasions, by the way, yeah. You've got a team of players that don't like turning up away from home. Bukayo being one of them, you know what I'm saying? And you guys know how I feel about that guy. I'll touch up on him as well as a lot of others that didn't turn up yesterday. But ultimately, I'm seeing guys like Igal saying they're going to beat Porto 4-0. You know, Igal's probably not even watched the game of Porto this season. I haven't, but I know how these teams set up when it comes to Europe, especially the Portuguese teams and the Italian teams and that. They're all about the dark arts. Yeah, all about the dark arts. Yeah. And one thing about round of 16, bro, it's a chess game. Yeah. These lot thought it was going to be a walk in the park because they played well in the group stages and it was basically comfortable for them, yeah. But remember what we said when they got that group? It was a Europa League group. Do you know what I'm saying? That was a Europa League group. Yeah. Everyone expected Arsenal to go through. Round of 16, different kettle of fish. The pressure is different. The intangibles are different, bro. You know what I mean? The fans, yeah, like I said, the experience, yeah, like I said, Saka's in the back of the van.
Yeah? In the back of the van.
The big moments, and we saw another big moment yesterday in the last minute for my man to score a glorious, that's what I'm gonna call it, a glorious goal like that.
Yeah,
that
great goal, by the way.
Great goal, bro. That's what the Champions League gives you. Do you know what I mean?
Bro, that's the type of goal Arsenal see in the league at home. Saka cutting in.
Yeah.
On the right. Literally, Porto did it to them from the left.
Exactly. Exactly. And just overall, analysing the game, like in the first half, yeah, like the first 10 minutes, I'll say Arsenal were the ones that were looking a little bit more comfortable. You know, they're making themselves at home. You know, initially they looked a little bit nervous. Their touches were a bit shit. Rice, he got a yellow card mad early, which I think kind of put him off his game a little bit. Do you know what I mean? But But I can't lie, Porto grew into the game, man. Initially, they were looking nervous, but they kind of grew into the game, and they had the better chances. They should have been 1-0 up. If you guys remember when Saliba got caught sleeping in the box.
Was it the same guy who hit the post who scored?
Yeah, Galeno.
Yeah. It was him. Bro, look at the hard chance he scored. Man's moving like Darwin. That's what Darwin does. Yeah, that's score a mad hard chance, but then score like miss an easy one like that. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So for me, going into the second half, I literally tweeted, I said, bro, Arsenal are looking mad inexperienced out there. They're looking mad nervous. You know what I'm saying? And I expect Porto not to lose their heads because right now, the game's in their hands. They can actually leave with something. I was looking at the game and thinking, yo, Porto are looking like they're treating these men like little boys. Do you know what I'm saying? And then individually, bro, when you break it down, yeah, man to man, Saliba, one of his worst games I've seen him play for Arsenal, to be honest. He was very shaky. I think Gabriel was better than him, but even he wasn't that great. You know what I'm saying? in midfield. Rice kept giving away the ball. Havertz was even playing yesterday. Like the plan with him was to get him back post on corners and and hope that he gets his head on it and score. But one thing about that guy, yeah, his headers are very inconsistent, bro. He's like 6'4", 6'5", but his headers are just bad. They're just not good, not that good. Do you know what I mean? Saka. Let me just read a few stats over here, yeah, because this is what they call him world class. This is why, you know, this is this is why I have to cook. I have to cook because you're not gonna gaslight no one about world class. Yeah, shots on target 0, shots off target 0, shots blocked 1. Oh, this one's the one that gets me. Dribble attempts 1, all game 1. Touches.
So no jinky majink.
No jinky majink. No jinky majink. Yeah. Right. Big chances created. Okay, 1. Crosses 3 out of 11 or successful. Yeah. Long balls 1 the whole game. Key passes 2. Yeah. The guy was ghosting all game, bro. He wasn't nowhere to be seen all game. Martinelli was crap, but in my opinion, he was their best attacker. Yeah. When it comes to dribbles attempted for Martinelli, he had 8. At least he was trying. He only completed 3. But as a winger, at least try beat your man. You know, people like to give Saka excuses. He gets doubled up on. He didn't get doubled up yesterday. I didn't see Saka getting doubled up yesterday. I was seeing him one-on-one with the fullback, and it was not trying to attack him. You know what I mean? He was nervous. And when I looked at the connections on the pitch, yeah, of who passes the most to who, I'm seeing a green line. A solid green line means strong to Odegaard. Saka kept going back to Odegaard. He was not trying to beat his man yesterday. Do you know what I mean? And these are the things that I talk about when I say this guy is not world class. Yeah, when he goes away from home, he's not comfortable. Yeah, when he's up against a decent fullback, he doesn't like to beat his man. It's all about retaining the ball. And for me, that is not good enough when you're playing in that position as an attacker. It's not good enough. And it's not a world class. It's as a world class player. That's something you should have as a fundamental. You should be able to.
You know what I clocked with him, Don? He always tries to rely on passing combinations to get him past people. Like he'll go inside, always go inside, little 1-2 with Odegaard or whatever it is. I think somebody will put in the comments.
But that's all right. But
there's nothing wrong with that, is it? Though.
But it's over reliance. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's no variety, bro.
I'll say Salah went through a period where he stopped when his shoulder went with Ramos. He started doing that. So he stopped taking people on and he started using Firmino as the guy to kind of go, cool, you're going to get me in behind.
Yeah, I'm going to bounce off you.
Yeah, most of the time. And obviously sometimes when Mane would come centrally as well, he'd do that. But the thing is with Salah, because his volume of goals was so high, it didn't matter, if that makes sense.
That's why he gets away with it, because of the consistency.
Yeah, like but with what actually reminds me of is someone different. And you guys might... Daps will probably maybe relate to this one the most. Raheem Sterling. Before because for me, Sterling was very explosive and taking on his man a lot. I think up until his first 2 seasons at Liverpool and his first 3 seasons at City. But then Sterling stopped doing it. And
it was his first season at City, and he always spoke on it. Remember, Sterling's first season at City wasn't under Pep; it was under Pellegrini. And he said, he came out and said, training every day was one-touch football, literally. And he was like, "That's not what I do." And apparently, when Pep first came in, he said to Raheem, "We need to get you back to playing to your strengths, which is getting to the byline. Like, get to the byline, and then But the difference is Sterling used to do it all the time, little 1-2s with David Silva to get him behind. Because the difference is when he was at City, Sterling was playing in a team like you see it all the time. It's not, whereas Liverpool's rock and roll counter-attacking football, City's trying to break down low blocks. And so Sterling, all of a sudden, it's a completely different type of football. And you have to have them little intricate passes like Arsenal are having to do now, which we had David Silva. Now, having David Silva is a cheat code when it comes to them little intricate passes. Arsenal, Odegaard, he's good. He's not David Silva, right?
But Odegaard is still very, very good at it, though.
He's good. He's good. But the other thing is, let's also be clear. Saka, when it comes to acceleration, is not Raheem Sterling.
I agree with that part. I agree with that. Over 6
Sterling. There's a Smith that Sterling like Sterling through one-on-one with a goalkeeper is not good. Yeah,
Mhm.
never has been, never will be. Overthinks it, tries to take the keeper on while rounding him, while looking for the pass. and
Saka's probably a
usually
better
trips over
finisher.
the ball,
Saka's a
right?
better finisher than Sterling.
But Sterling, little bursts of pace, little
Yeah, the 6 to 10
acceleration,
yard speed, rapid.
different, bro.
Yeah.
And with David
Yeah.
Silva, he'd lay the ball off to David Silva and then instantly just put the burners on. And
Yeah,
Silva
yeah,
would just
yeah.
bop the
And it's
pass
either
back.
you're, it's
But
either, it's either a
but
penalty.
this is the thing though. You rarely ever get any world-class players who are predictable to this detriment, if that makes sense. Yeah, like Saka, he's predictive. Like the way he plays, is not a good way to be playing against a good fullback, in my opinion. Yeah, people will say Robin was predictable. But Robin, there's this myth, that Robin couldn't go on the outside. Bro, Robin used to run on the outside as well, you know. But he used to like that
same
move.
with Mahrez,
that,
bro.
that was his signature move. That was his
Robin
signature
and
move.
Mahrez were both very similar, but
Yeah.
also there's some people that can have signature moves that even if you know it's coming, try and stop
It's
it.
too good.
That's
It's
the
too
difference.
good.
You know what the difference is? It's for me, when I look at the Robins, I look at the Mahrezes, for example, they master what they're good at. So when you're good at something, you've mastered it, it can always come off. Saka, for me, hasn't mastered anything. So that's why I agree with you, Don, that when you come up against a good fullback, it's hard for you to then take on your man. It's like Doku, for example. Doku's good, but he hasn't mastered anything. So when you come up against Gusto, who's quick and you can match him, that's why on the weekend he saw the limitations.
Well, I'll be real. Do you know what my view is on Doku at the moment? Yeah, sorry. My view on Doku is that, look, I've never seen after the last game I went to was either Sheffield United or Everton, one of the two.
Everton,
Never seen, right. I've never seen a man beat his man every single time, but then never deliver. Right?
Yeah, like turns back.
But it was or he's just hitting the first man. And look, it's his first season. I'm not going in on Doku, but I almost feel like it's got to a point with some defenders where they're thinking, let him get past you. Because I don't know what he's going to do once he gets past you anyway. So don't put
the thing is though, Daps, I'm even seeing people in the chat. This is what happens when you speak about Saka. They think you've got an agenda. Yeah, people don't comprehend my take on Saka. I think Saka's a good player. I think he can definitely become world class. But I've got different expectations, and different standards when it comes to what I consider to be world class. We're speaking about this in the group chat the other day. That's it.
But the thing is, look, I reckon Mons knows what I'm going to say here, because it's the exact same thing that I got onto Liverpool fans about Trent for. And by the way, I'm a big Trent fan. But the minute you start saying someone is world class, then as rivals, we go, no problem. That's what we're going to judge him on now, right?
No problem.
Exactly. There we go.
But we're going to microanalyze everything he does.
And
there we go.
We have, exactly.
We go.
We've seen that with Trent. We constantly.
Trent passed the test.
If you're going to put your guy, if you're going to put your guy in certain conversations, don't now start getting stressed when we draw him out because he's not performing to a world class level.
They
you put him there.
If anything, it's a compliment. If anything, it's a compliment. The fact that a player so young is being spoken about in such a. I'm not saying spoken about in a positive way, but he's being scrutinized for such minor things and one-off games. It's like that is actually a compliment to the player.
The thing is, what people need to realize in the comments is that I support City, Don supports Chelsea, Ty supports Man United, Mont supports Liverpool. Right now, if we are used to our players being like players that we see as our best being judged, right? Me at the moment, maybe Haaland last couple of seasons. Let's take the Foden Saka thing as a conversation. Apparently, Saka carries Arsenal, Foden doesn't carry City. Now, okay, Arsenal fans have been saying that, right? So we go and look at Foden last week for City against Copenhagen in the Champions League, There we go. I think we see a goal, we see an assist. Saka carries Arsenal. Saka carries Arsenal, right, in the big games, right? So perfect. Last night was the perfect example. We will judge your world-class player that carries you on the big scale. And what happened? He wasn't there.
And that's what annoys me. What annoys me as well. For me, Saka's not my type of winger. Like I like wingers that are very direct, and can beat their man. Because I think for a winger, for an attacking forward, that should be a bare minimum. That's a basic skill you should have as a winger. You should be able to attack your man. I've seen Saka do it, bro, on quite a lot of occasions coming through. you know, the game that sticks out to me was when he did it for England against France. He was literally running through, man, and you know, he was our best player that game. Do you know what I'm saying? So I know he's got it in him, and if I see that on you know, more consistent basis, even if he's not getting in the game, getting involved in the game over 90 minutes, but every time he's on the ball, trying to attack his man, I'll be like, cool, at least he's trying. I don't see him trying enough, bro. And when he does try, it's easy to get him off the ball. It's easy to tackle him. You know what I mean? That's the problem that I've got. Like, I know he's got the ability to get there, but he's not there yet, in my opinion. And that's okay. He's 22, bro. He's 22.
And this is the thing. I hate the Foden Saka comparison because I actually think, like, I don't see Foden as a winger. I see him as a midfielder. So that comparison's mad to me anyway. But this is exactly it. If Saka was not constantly, you know, put on a pedestal, but Igal, you are one of the worst at it as well. I don't know if you're watching this or not, but Igal is one of the worst. I was going through his Twitter on the plane, right? And my man is just constantly comparing Arsenal players with other teams' players. And it's like, okay, but if you're going to do that, we're just going to do the same.
Be ready.
We're going to do exactly the same. We're going to compare him when he has bad days. We're also going to compare him, and then it's not going to look so good. Saka should just be, look, let's be real. I'd take Saka at City. I would.
I'd take him at United. Yeah.
I'd take Trent at City. I rate Trent, yeah. But if people keep comparing them and over talking them, then, you know,
It's their own fault. This week they were putting him next to Bell.
The thing that baffles me the most is that I don't get why fans, right? And this is, I'm not even talking about us all here, other people, because we don't scream about people at world class. I know none of us do that. But why fans do that? Because it feels like, I'm like, what are you actually gaining from it? Because at the end of the day, this doesn't make Saka improve on the pitch. If anything, it just makes people scrutinize him even more. Three, you're not allowing him to develop and cook. He's 22 years of age. What do people get out of coming into a group chat or coming on pods and saying this person's world class over that? It doesn't matter. Saka doesn't care. He's not watching. Just let my man perform on the pitch and let him cook. It's like when boxers come on the scene and me and Dad say about all these young boxers and everyone's like, yeah, this young boxer will smoke this man. And it's like, no, you haven't even had a world title fight yet.
Before they've fought anyone.
Yeah, before they fought anyone
with any
pressure. What I'm saying? And it's like, yo, just chill. Let these footballers do their thing. And this is just the modern day and age that we are dealing with. And unfortunately, some youth people that are watching this might not hear it because we come from a bit of an older generation, but just let these guys perform and do their thing. Otherwise, Saka is always going to be scrutinized. And when he's even doing well, no one will praise him that much because all we're going to say is, well, you said he's world class, so he's doing what he should be doing, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Do you get what I'm saying? So, yeah, man, guys, 600 of you in the building. Make sure you're running up the likes. It's great to see these big numbers, such a morning show as well on a Thursday. So big up Don, big up Daps, big up Monts inside as well. Daps is abroad, so big up him for obviously jumping on as well in the lovely weather while it's pissing out here, Daps. So,
I heard the rivers flooding and that.
Yeah, bro, flooding, madness. Monts, what have you got to say? Because obviously you lot are top, but we'll talk about Liverpool a bit later on.
Yeah,
Arsenal, Porto, you know, the Saka, Martinelli, two legs, calm down, people. Like, where are you heading?
I think this is the difference between like good young wingers and ridiculous young wingers. You know what I'm saying? I feel like when you look at the reason I brought up Raheem Sterling is because I feel like the level he was at and the level Saka was at, I feel like it's kind of a similar thing. As I said, Saka's a bit more technical than Sterling when he was. And I think Sterling's more physically robust, faster, quicker, unstoppable when he's kind of getting at you. And obviously, but I just feel like, you know, when you look at Sane and Sterling, yeah, as young wingers, and you look at like a Martinelli and a Saka, I feel like games like this kind of show you they've still got a long way to go in terms of really big game difference makers. You feel me? Like, I'm not even gonna like do the Salah and Mane thing because I feel like they were more 25, 26 when they really started hitting the heights. I wanted to use Sterling and Sane because, and I know Daps will probably have this kind of thought in his head because when he probably thinks about Doku now and whoever else is playing on the other side, they're nothing compared to kind of what those guys were.
Bro,
those guys were.
Listen,
and
bro,
let me laugh for a second on this one, but just to say that these like you need it when you're away from home in the Champions League. It is about heritage, very much so, because you saw Porto actually have like better heritage than Arsenal if you actually think about it in the European stage. But
Yeah.
You need difference makers. You need difference makers away from home. I feel like when you're having a dud game, you need Sane to go take on 3 man and slap it bottom corner. Sorry, but that's when Odegaard's not on it, when no one in your front, when no one's on it, you need to have at least someone who has that spark out of nothing.
What you need a world-class player. A world-class player.
If you look at
game, what's the guy who scored? He's not a world-class player, but he came up with a world-class moment. You know what I'm saying?
If you look at City's last game against Copenhagen, yeah, there's no coincidence where that team, yeah, you know, we've all seen it this season. Pep has been changing things all over the gaff compared to the team that won the treble last season, yeah, being changed constantly. No coincidence, Copenhagen, our Champions League game, knockout stage, away from home, all of a sudden it was Rodri, Kevin De Bruyne, Bernardo Silva, Grealish, Foden.
Tried and trusted.
All of a sudden, Grealish is back in. Why? Because he knows you've been there. You've been there. You know, we got to remember, Grealish has been through it. I don't think Pep will be ideally trusting Doku in these games now, because you got to remember, not just last season, the season before, at the Bernabeu, where Grealish came on, yeah, we were 1-0 up going through. Grealish came on naively, tried to take on a load of players, nearly scored.
I remember.
Very nearly scored, but he didn't. Yeah, he didn't. Real Madrid went to the other end, scored 1, scored 2, scored 3, City are out like that, right? Just by next season, I remember at the Bernabeu, there was a moment where Grealish got the ball and Grealish ran it into the corner, right? Because there is the difference, yeah? When you get to these games, you need men that know what they're doing. And like
experience.
Look,
Exactly.
but
But this is not a semi-final. This is a group stage away game. Yeah?
So
this is
it's not group stage. It's not, whoa.
Early doors, man.
You're already going too far. This is phase 1. This is phase
it's not
1.
group stage. Come on.
Yeah. This is not group stage. Sorry, this is a round of 16. This is phase 1 of the knockout.
And once you know what phase this is. This is, you know, when you get to the motive, yeah, bare early and that, and no one's really there yet. And they're still playing the music to warm everyone up.
Yeah, the warm-up thing.
Everyone's still chilling on the side. You're eyeing what gal you think you got a chance with. You're eyeing what gal that might be above your grade.
Hold on. Can I just say something as well? And I just saw a comment saying, hush, man's talking about Copenhagen. If we're being real, hush, man's talking about Porto. Yeah? Let's be real. This is Arsenal fans. You are talking about, you want Real Madrid. You want Bayern Munich. You want heritage. This is Porto, right? Last 16, this is the last stage where you can be drawing your Copenhagens, your Leipzigs, yeah, your Portos, because after that, you're going to come. So right now, you're not really coming up against heritage and you still held smoke, right? So wait until, if you think that's bad, yeah, you are telling me you want Real Madrid. Now, when you say you want Real Madrid and you're not talking about the final, understand that means you're going to the fucking Bernabeu, yeah? Until you've been to the Bernabeu and experienced the fucking Bernabeu and how you can be leading the 2 legs nicely and all of a sudden like that, yeah? And it's not just me as a City fan. I know factually Chelsea have felt it because Chelsea felt it the round before we did 2 years ago. I'm pretty certain. Well, Liverpool have experienced it in a final. 1 second. So
2 finals.
Bro, this is what you lot need to be ready for.
What it is, yeah, that fan base, Arsenal's fan base have been starving. You know, they've been starving. They haven't seen any Champions League football for nearly a decade. They haven't seen any world-class players coming through. They've suffered with Mustafi and all these guys. Do you know what I'm saying? But that's one of the reasons why they're throwing their guys in there, because they're happy that, you know, their right winger right now is, you know, statistically right now in terms of goals and assists, he's up there. Do you know what I mean? But the game's not just about goals and assists. You got to look deeper than that when you're talking about world class. In my opinion, I think their last world class player was probably Sanchez, if anything. Maybe Sanchez. Maybe Ozil. Maybe Ozil.
Aubameyang.
Yeah. Maybe Aubameyang. Yeah. But Clearly,
Maybe,
world
but
world
it's a
class.
maybe.
There was a 2 year.
You know what? You know what? Yeah.
Aubameyang was world class. Aubameyang was world class.
No, he had that season. To be
He was
fair,
world
you know what?
class.
I
I'll give
want to
him that.
spin it.
I'll
I
give
want
him
to try and I'm not saying play devil's advocate, but I want to just try and spin it and see what we think here. Because if we take this convo from Porto beating Arsenal last night 1-0, the second leg still to play. On paper, we all think that Arsenal go through. However, Arsenal would come off the back. Okay, well, potentially not, but we'll discuss that later, obviously, later on in the weeks. But when you think about it now, Arsenal have got a comeback. They've got Newcastle now, 8 o'clock on Saturday night. Alexander Isaac should be back for Newcastle. But however, Arsenal scored 11 in the league or whatever, and they're competing with Liverpool and City. They've now got to get their head back on the Premier League. They've now got to get back focused and beat Newcastle, because they can't lose to Porto and then lose to Newcastle, because all of a sudden the momentum and the shift can quickly swing another way. Do you think now, right, with Arsenal, this could be a blessing? And I know it sounds mad, right? But when you lose after being on a bit of a confidence run, scoring 11, it's like you just get brought down to reality. And now they're going to come and bounce back against Newcastle. Or are we feeling that it could go the other way?
I'll be real. I don't know. But what I would say is it's a very, very good point. Yeah. That this is right. When people talk about the business end of the season, yeah. And when you look at City and Liverpool, when they've gone back and forth at it, right? It's when you're in all competitions. This is, and the Champions League, yeah, and the Premier League, bro. It can go.
It's like it stops you getting complacent. It's like a reminder.
This is where mentally, and this is, I think last time I was on the other day, I was saying, look, the truth is, obviously, I've said City going to run away with it, this and that. But the truth is, this time of the season is draining. Yeah, Monty, you know it. I know it. It's mentally fucking draining.
Every game is like, whew.
And we're just fans, bro. We're just fans, yeah. But this is where Arsenal fans, you're now putting expectation on your team in Europe as well, yeah. So last season they were having to handle the pressure of just a league, right? Now your players are also having to handle the pressure that you man are putting on them in the Champions League as well. Now, of course, if they win the second leg, that momentum will carry on in the league, 100%, yeah, because they'll be, you know, when you play a computer game and you've got that power up bar and you can do finishing moves once that power up bar gets all the way, the more you win. Football is like that. You play with a certain like riz, yeah. If you've got confidence, and this is where it's interesting to see. Like, I still think they do win the second leg. I think it's going to be this. This could be what they need, because
that's a good way. That's a good way. That's a good way to actually go.
I'm saying, even forget the second leg. Like, I'm talking about, like, they got the here and now. They got the Newcastle this weekend, Saturday. Do you think it just gets them, gives them fire in the belly to bounce back straight away?
They got Newcastle at home, innit, this time round, yeah.
I do.
Do you know what though? Do you know what? Yeah, like, what do you guys think about Arteta's performance yesterday? His in-game management, Mons?
I think I don't think. I understand the Jorginho sub a little bit, because it was like, it's a thing where I think he's kind of conceded to the fact that Arsenal are having one of those days, and maybe let's retain the ball a bit better and see the game out. Because let's be honest, the game ends 0-0. No one's really sitting there going, you fucked up. Oh, yeah, you bottled jump. Not really, because then you go back to the Emirates and you fancy them all the way. You fancy Arsenal to win the game way more than we would now.
Well, remember City last season won the Champions League, drawing every single knockout game away from home.
The only thing I'll say,
Arteta's a scary man. Scary man.
The only thing I'll say with the sub is that I felt like maybe Martinelli should have came off. I thought, or Havertz for me was having a bad game. I feel like Trossard was trying to make things happen, and I feel like when he came off, there was a lot less technique in the front line, let's just say. And if Havertz ain't having a great game, bringing on Jorginho, I understand it, because if you think about it, he's the one with the experience in the Champions League. He's won a Champions League. He's played in the final. He knows what it's like under pressure. But
he was crap when he came on, by the way.
Yeah, he was just crap when he came on. It was completely different. And I feel like, again, that might be part of man management, where after the Liverpool game, your man of the match, Arsenal's biggest game of the Premier League this season, he gets man of the match. We don't see him until today. We haven't seen Jorginho in 3.5 weeks in terms of starting again.
Then you can't expect man to come on and just drop a clinic sometimes. Get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So for me, and listen, you can't please everyone. Sometimes you do have to be phased back to the bench. But I think that in my opinion, in terms of man management, we're talking about Arteta here, not Jorginho, we're talking about Arteta here. My opinion, Arsenal were always going to go and smack Burnley 4s and 5s, regardless if it was Jorginho, regardless if it was Rice, or anyone playing in there.
Yeah,
they're winning that game comfortably in it. I think, who did they beat 6-1? West Ham. I understand with the West Ham game, you know, it probably wasn't going to be 6-1, 6-1, 6-0 like they did, but I still think they, with the way they were playing and the momentum from the Liverpool game, I think they would have beat West Ham. I think that Arteta should have given Jorginho another game. I'm not saying start him all the way up until the game, but
bring him on at half time, bro. Bring him on at half time.
He should have given Jorginho more game time before now, because as a player, just think about it. You're a squad player anyway. You've come on, you're more experienced than most of these men, and you believe in your ability. You've now jumped in on the biggest game, dropped a worldie, and so told you, man, put some legs around me and I'm cooking. Then you don't see ball for the next 4 weeks.
They put him back in the freezer, bruv. You know what I'm saying? Yesterday, it was too defrosting yesterday. Do you know what I'm saying? But Ty, listen, for me, listen, Arsenal should get the job done at the Emirates, innit? You know what I mean? Like that's when they're most comfortable, yeah. But Ty, if somehow, Porto beat these man, or Arsenal don't go through, what does that mean for Arteta for you?
Well, I like how you asked me. I'm not gonna lie. That's big trouble, because that's unacceptable. If they don't win anything, which they're out the FA Cup, they're in the Premier League and they've got to be in it to win it, and then they get knocked out in the round of 16 by Porto. Big questions would have to be asked. Would I sack him? I don't think I'll sack him, if I'm personally honest with you. I wouldn't sack him, because I think where they're competing in the league with a Liverpool and City, he's earned enough respect to say, look, it wasn't a fluke last year. I'm still being competitive. However, what it does do, it puts more scrutiny on him for next season. So he's already started like next season on -1. Call it that, because he ain't going to win the league. I'm going to call it that. He ain't going to win the league. Liverpool or City are going to win the league, whether it's one of the two.
Let's be real with the sacking thing at the moment as well. That you've got to look at the game at the moment. And if you sack Arteta right now, you're looking for a manager, while Liverpool are looking for a manager, Bayern are looking for a manager, and whoever else might be looking, United might be looking for a manager, maybe. So you kind of, at the moment, I still think as long as Arteta is in a title race, he keeps his job, and he should keep his job.
And we've got to remember, by the way, it's his first year in the Champions League as well. And like at the end of the day, all managers, just like footballers or like us in work, we're going to make little mistakes along the way, and this is what helps you become the manager that you're potentially going to be. Pep didn't just walk into like a team and just win the Champions League straight away, or to come to the Premier League, just win it straight away. Ferguson did Man United. So like John, I feel like he can learn from that, and he'll get them back in the Champions League, and they go again. It's one of them. You can't just get managers.
Yeah, no, I hear what you're saying, innit? And obviously, if they don't win the league, that's another conversation that's going to be had, yeah. But let's say it goes into next season again after not winning anything. Like realistically, just to play devil's advocate, like. How long can they keep, hanging on to faith and saying he's gonna get better? Because at the end of the day, he's still learning on the job. When they brought him in,
let me go back. Let
me finish my point. Yeah, because when he first got the job, a lot of Arsenal fans didn't want him, because obviously they were like, he's a novice. He puts out the calls for Pep and whatnot. And right now, he's still technically learning on the job. Like you've said, it's his first time in the Champions League. It's not his first time in Europe, but it's his first time in the Champions League. It's a lot of these players' first time in Europe again, so they'll gain that experience. But how long are you going to keep letting this guy keep bottling things? Because it'll get to a point where, like before, all their top players are leaving because they're not winning nothing. They're not seeing that end goal. Saliba, Saka, all of these guys.
I hear you, right?
If they persist with him going forward, right? And again, it's the same thing. When is the cutoff point, bro? Because
I hear you. Europa League, right? If I think about it, obviously the Europa League, I get it. They only won a FA Cup. Europa League, they flopped last year. The Premier League, they got to April and then bottled it. However, let's be true. August of that season, none of us are screaming Arsenal to be in a title race. Let me land on this, Don. None of us are screaming Arsenal to be in a title race. They got themselves there last year and surprised everyone, coming out the blocks in a 100-meter sprint ahead of Usain Bolt, and everyone was like, "Raw, what's going on here?" Usain Bolt then caught them, and it's like, right, that's set the bar now for this season. Now, for me, they spent money this summer. this summer, I would say in Arteta's whole regime is the first year that it's like, right, we've got expectations, neutral fans as well, that Arsenal should be competing for the league. Arsenal now in the Champions League, can they reach a quarters or semi? Not win it, quarters or semi. Can they win a domestic trophy? This was the first season under Arteta where we all had expectation that he could do something. So for me, if he's not done it on his first season, next year for me is like the biggest judgmental case. Because last year was a bit of an anomaly.
So you saying next year's his cut-off then, yeah? You said next year's his cut-off.
I think next year's the biggest season for him for Arteta.
Look, the only thing I'd probably say is, do you know what? Arteta has had more money than Klopp, yeah? But would we be turning round to Liverpool and saying, if Klopp don't beat Pep in a title race, then serious questions must be asked, yeah? Serious. Bro, he's up against Klopp in his last year at Liverpool. He's up against Pep Guardiola, trying to be the best manager in the world. City. Like, the only thing I think that is a fair comment is the fact that he's spent more money than Klopp.
Yeah, I agree with you. That so in the same
money, but the truth is, like, and this is where I say to Northside, your beef should not be with Arteta. Your beef should be with an element of your fan base that fucking put expectations that are maybe a bit, I'm not going to say unrealistic, because do you know what? Arsenal could win the league this season. They could, yeah? And Arsenal still could win the Champions League. But are we really saying they're expected to win either when they're up against fucking...
It's the first season of expectation. And do you know what the thing is? I said this to, it's funny actually you mentioned Northside, because when Northside was down done, as he was moaning about obviously his manager, and he said, like, if we don't win, he said his words were this actually, and that's why he goes, if we don't win the league, I would sack Arteta. And I said, look, you're expecting them to beat City, who were going for a 4-peat, by the way, and just won the treble, and you're talking about a Klopp team like that's just enabled there, and Liverpool is leaving at the end of the season. Now for me, I just said to him, so you're never going to be happy with Arteta or any manager unless they win the league. But look who you're going up against. So if your bar is just going to be right, you've got to win the league, then there's going to be hardly any Arsenal fans.
The thing is, I get that. For me, I'm the same, innit? Like, for me, I want my team to be competing year in, year out for the league, yeah? Because at the end of the day, it's not a given that you're going to win it unless you're Man City the past however many years. No, let me land my point. Champions League is hard as well. But what buys you time is picking up other trophies along the way, bro. Do you know what I'm saying? He's thrown away the FA Cups and the Carabao Cups, right? These are the things that buy you more time when you're in a job up against the Man City. Do you know what I mean? Obviously, it's hard to win the league, bro. No one's saying that it's not. I'm not saying, if he doesn't win the league, sack him.
Do you know,
there's no guarantee to win the league. You're saying go for the other silverware.
Go for the other, exactly. Pick them up as you go along, bro.
Because I said before with Wenger, back in the latter years of Wenger, when Arsenal fans were screaming for Wenger out, I was saying, but who do you think you're going to get to replace him? Because Wenger keeps getting contract extensions because he's hitting the objectives your board is offering. Now, this is where I think it would be quite interesting if at the start of every season, the club's boards actually had to come out and put it out there. These are our expectations, because ultimately that is what drives it. If Arsenal just want to be in the conversation, then 100% the board won't get rid of him because they are in the conversation, right? But if now the board is spending more money, they go, no, we're giving you this money because we want you to win the league or the Champions League. One of the two, how you do with it is up to you, but you got to win one of them. Then maybe there is. But for me, I think if Arsenal finish in the top 3, the only disappointing thing would probably be what you just said, Don, the fact that they're not in the FA Cup no more, they're not in the Carabao. And
that's softens that blow, bro.
Do you know what? Let me ask you. Now,
hold on. Sorry. I think the other thing in the Champions League is if Arsenal go to the semi-final, then I think that's very commendable. First year back in the Champions League. If Arsenal get to the semi-final, that's been a good season in the Champions League. I don't think anyone can ever really look at people.
100%. I agree with that. Yeah, no, 100%. If they get to semi-final, I think that's a very, very good entry back into the Premier League, Champions League. Guys, so I just see the numbers. Great numbers, 750 of you in the building. Guys, can you make sure you smash the like on your way in? If you don't know how to, just cross off your live chat, hit the thumbs up. It massively helps us. Obviously, we're over 20K now, so the journey to the 30 and the beyond begins. So, guys, it does help us reach new audiences and everything. So, wherever you're watching around the world, good morning, good evening, good afternoon, and I hope you're enjoying the show as well. Do you know what? Before we go into Liverpool, because I do want to touch Liverpool for 10 minutes, I think they deserve their honorary shout. How many signings do you lot think Arsenal away from like getting over the line, should we say? And I'm not talking Carabao, I'm not talking FA Cup. Obviously, Timber's coming back. And that's one sign you could say for next season. But how many signings realistically do you think they're away, guys, from a toppling of Liverpool or City in the league next season? Let's be real.
Potentially none.
Really?
No, bro,
Yeah,
hold on.
listen,
Bro,
can I run this?
they could
Nah, that's you're joking, isn't it?
Lemons coming.
No,
Lemons coming.
no,
Lemons coming. Lemons coming.
I think-
hold on.
What?
But
No
what
striker
you're
at
saying-
least?
Huh?
What? Not even a striker?
Bro, you've asked a question.
Yeah, I'm
now-
intrigued by your answer. Go on, bro.
Well, the answer is, are you saying right now, Arsenal won't win the league this season?
Yes.
Okay, fair enough. Well, in that case, but being real, I hear you, because at the moment they're third, but if they win the league, bro, and they are in the conversation, let's be clear, they are in the conversation. I still don't think a striker is essential to them, yeah?
But you
Because
said none in general.
Huh?
You said zero
bro,
signings in
hold
general.
on. Me personally, you've got to go back and listen to what I said. I said potentially none, yeah? Because they're still in the title race, bro. They are. Me personally, I think if they want to be doing leagues and other competitions season in, season out, like Liverpool and City try and do, I think they're probably 3-4 players away still. But
Okay.
at the moment, they're in the title race, bro. We can't act like they're not. They are.
Yeah,
they
nah,
are.
they are. They are. Okay, fair. What do you think, Don, on that? How many signings do you think they're away, or would you say none as well? And then I'll go to Monson.
Nah. They need a left centre mid. Obviously, I don't know how they're going to get rid of Havertz. They definitely need a left centre mid. They've got a big hole there. They need a striker, in my opinion. I've been saying this from last year. Even when they signed Jesus, I said, this guy's not going to win you the league, man. You still need a striker. Nah. Trust me. He's the main nine now. He's going to come in there. He's going to finish chances. So, bro, you haven't been watching this guy long enough, innit, to know what he is then, if you think he's good enough to be the guy to win you a league. I'd probably say they need a left back. Obviously, Kivior got injured, so he would have probably played there majority of the season. I think Zinchenko, defensively, is just not good enough. And against these low block teams, it's not every day that you need a guy to invert. If your midfielder good enough, you've got a good enough left centre mid. Let's say you've got a Paqueta there, or you've got a Maddison playing in that role. Why do you need Zinchenko inverting? You should have enough creativity up there. Do you know what I'm saying? Everyone creates differently. They don't always need a left back to invert into the midfield to help to do that. Do you know what I mean? So I definitely would look at that side of things as well. Because when he's not there, they have to bring in Kivior. And for me, you know how I feel about centre backs playing out of position. It's not good. Do you know what I mean? What else would I say they need? They definitely need a backup for Saka as well on that side. They're killing the guy.
You're looking at roughly about 5, and in one window, realistically,
Nah, they
they
don't
can't
need
get more.
5.
They're probably
I would
not
say-
getting more than 5.
I'd say 3 minimum. 3 minimum. I would
Okay.
say definitely a striker, definitely a left centre mid. Yeah, and I would say
A left back.
and I'd say a proper left back. Man.
But
then
again,
what's his name?
Don,
What's his name's there, man? Timber's gonna come back and they'll
if
probably
they
play
get
him
a
there.
striker, if
True.
they get
Or
a
they might
striker,
play him on the other side.
if they get a striker, then straight away for me, Jesus, is Saka cover.
His cover, right? Okay. Yeah.
Like, I
okay.
still
Saka,
don't
okay, yeah.
understand that during periods this season, maybe a bit more last season, but certainly at the start of this season, I don't get why. Because he showed faith in Eddie, yeah. But then when Saka was looking, remember when Saka was looking really burnt out,
Yeah.
and I was thinking, if
He played
trust
Jesus in
Eddie,
the right
if
a
you
bit.
trust Eddie to play him through the middle, because look, Jesus's best seasons at City were playing out wide right. So, and he won leagues like that. So, I don't know.
It's interesting. It's
with the striker, but I think the striker thing probably would help them more in the Champions League than the league. I think a striker, bro, them big moments, them big moments, strikers can be worth the weight in gold in Europe. Like, think Haaland at times for City. You can even think Origi for Liverpool, right? When you've got a gunman in certain games in Europe, that can be the difference.
I think the only thing I'll say in terms of how many world-class players, how many players they are off of, I don't know, a champs or a prem, I kind of don't think I feel like with Arsenal, unfortunately, there's no middle ground, especially with the fan base. There's no middle ground because two games ago it was all the Arteta outers are wrong. He can't do anything more than what he's doing now. 23 goals in 4 games. What more do you need him to do to show that he's worthy of, keeping the job? And then the first leg of Porto happens. He's not good enough. He's not good enough. Get him out. It's Saka, not good enough, not world class, just a good player. Goes and scores 6 goals in 4 games. What are you man talking about? Of course he's better than Foden, or he's more effective than Foden. Do you see what I'm saying? It's like, I think because there's no middle ground, it's so hard. Like, why is it always Arteta in or Arteta out? Can't you guys just enjoy the ride?
Well,
Can't you just enjoy and I understand it because it's more of it's almost
they want to run before they can crawl, G.
It's frustration.
Not even that. It's not even that. It's withdrawal symptoms of being out the Champions League for 7 years. Yeah. Having to deal with what they dealt with the board and Gazidis and their man with consistently not backing a man who's turning water into wine in Arsene Wenger in his last not the latter years, but there was that period when the All-Stars left that it was shit squads. They've had to deal with that PTSD. So because of that, I feel like there is no, for the old school Arsenal fans, there's no middle ground. For the new Arsenal fans, it's like, oh my days, it's been 7 years, it's been shit. This is the best thing I've ever seen. Arteta's the best guy ever. So there's no.
It's David.
Yeah,
you know what it is? But you think about it.
I don't think it needs to be Arteta in or out at the moment. I think
it's a journey. Look, do you know what it is? Monts is spot on with it because what happened with Arsenal, if you really think about it, the Invincible, I'm pretty certain, right? The Invincible was their last season of winning the league, right?
Yeah,
right.
It was.
They won the league, and at that point, with what this isn't a debate of how good the Invincibles is, but I think we would all agree the Invincibles is up there with one of the greatest achievements. Let's put it up there. Yeah, they did that, and then the season after that was right. Now we need to sell players because of the ground. We're moving right now. If you think what's happened there is Arsenal didn't get all the way, whether all the way be retaining it, whether all the way be winning in Europe as well, doing a double, doing anything, they were there ready to do it. Arsenal were there ready to dominate, right? And then the board go, whoa, no, not now. We're selling players because we got a stadium to build, right? So they were close to doing, and it got taken away from them. And now it's like, they want it desperately. And since then, Chelsea have had their period. City are now having their period. Liverpool have won, I think, 2 Champions Leagues since then, come back and won their league. United continue to have... And Arsenal have sat there almost about to have fucking everything in football, had it all taken away, and now they're playing catch-up. And they're wanting to catch up as quickly as possible. But you can't just all of a sudden walk back in and go, we're winning everything. You can't do that.
Exactly. And that's why it is going to be interesting to see.
I still think you can't blame the old heads for having these expectations because ideally once Pep leaves, I know you're gonna understand that there'll be a drop off, but you're still gonna hold City to Pep standards. You're not gonna hold City to the main road standards.
But even then, the drop off was mad. But the drop off, I think
the drop off was
and the board did them dirty.
Then it went mad. You got to remember the drop off.
The other thing is, bro, and by the way, I'm not getting at the old Arsenal fans. I think to be where they were, and then all of a sudden have the board going top 4's the objective. Top 4's the objective. It's like, how you mean? A couple of years ago, the Invincibles was the fucking objective. Like being in a Champions League final against Barcelona was an objective. Now you're telling me top 4 football's an objective.
But unfortunately, listen, Arsenal fans won't want to hear this, and I can talk. I can talk on both sides of the fence. Arsenal are only now getting back to what they could have been in 19 years. Arsenal are closer in trophies to Tottenham than to Chelsea, Liverpool, United, and City. Yeah, and that's unfortunate. And if we're talking currency of trophies, you are close. They are closer to Tottenham, trophies wise, in terms of 4 FA Cups in the last 20 years. 4 FA Cups, nothing else. Yeah, Chelsea have won league since then. United have won league since then. City have won league since then. Liverpool have won a league, but at least have put a Champions League in there, 4 domestic cups in there, another European Cup in there. As you said, everyone's kind of got their variety of what they're doing. And Arsenal, who are supposed to be the third best team in the country, no arguments, no conversations about it, are sat there with 4 FA Cups over 20 years. I understand why I'd be angry too, fam. I hear it. Trust me, man. I'd be impatient too. So but unfortunately, that's not Arteta's fault, though. It's not Arteta's fault. But
let me just read this quickly. Big up Sai MCSC. Big up for watching. I know that you follow Nobbins around as well when he's on show. So big up for showing your support as well. Saka's GA flatters his performances this season. Obviously, we touched on Saka earlier. So guys, if you have been watching the show, if you just joined us as well, what I've done is I've actually added the timestamps in as always. If you want to go back and watch debunk certain sections, then feel free to do that. And make sure you are hitting the like button, people. Make sure you're hitting the like button, subscribing if you're new. Big up for everyone supporting. We want to touch on Liverpool because once it's only right because Liverpool are back top of the table. No game this weekend, cup final, but you've done the job yesterday. I know a few people in the group chat were getting a bit excited, as we do local Luton, 1-0 up, but we all knew what Liverpool were going to do. We said, calm down.
Why do people do it?
I know, Daps, they're not learning.
Why do people do it?
Ches was messaging. I told you Liverpool going to drop off time. Like, 38 minutes.
This guy doesn't know about Liverpool and how they score late goals.
He didn't even let Klopp run the team talk.
Ches gets it in whilst he can. That's what Ches does.
Yeah, he gets it in.
It's at Anfield, man. Come on.
I know.
By the way, I think people are a bit annoyed that I didn't answer the question. I think Arsenal need 1 or 2 signings.
Okay.
1 or 2 signings. If you want just a short answer. But
short answer. But Liverpool.
Yeah. Just because I've got to shoot in 3 minutes. But there's not.
So I've got to date the swimming pool.
If we're talking,
perfect,
bro. Like the first half was concerning, innit? I'm not gonna beat around the bush. That first half was very concerning. You do that against Chelsea in the final, you lose the final. It's simple as that. Let's not beat around the bush. I'm not over the moon about beating Luton at home because I expected a different type of 4-1. We won 4-1, but I expected a different type of 4-1. I expected 4-0 up and 1-goal consolation, not 1-0 down and 4-goal comeback. But this has been the story of Liverpool season. It's like Saka's old. I'll unblock you. It's just a thing where that first half for me, I looked at Diaz, I looked at Gakpo, and looked at Elliott, and it looked like these men linked up at goals for the first time. It's like these men linked up in these man just throwing a group of guys together and say, you man, go do your thing. There was no cohesion. We were winning the ball up high, and Diaz taking too many chances, too many opportunities. He's the less said about his end product, the better at the moment. I really do worry about Diaz going forward, honestly. But he's the only fit senior forward to say that we have.
He done well to keep his composure, though.
I'm really interested to see Gakpo's journey now that he could get a run of games. Really interested to see that because he's held a lot of smoke. Yeah, for me,
and he's kept his head down, and he's got 2 goals.
He's got 11 goals and 5 assists in all comps. He's been our kind of cup competition guy. And if someone of Gakpo's quality can be our cup competition guy, that is what you call depth in attack.
Yeah, he's gonna get minutes though because I believe he is your Europa League striker. So Nunes will play the league and carry it through, and Gakpo will get his minutes off the bench and in Europa League. So
exactly, he has to be that type of guy. But what I'll say is, again, I'm happy with the win, and I just feel like we have to start games a little bit better going forward because we're not always going to have the Anfield crowd there the way we did. But 3 points is massive. I know it's Luton, but every 3 points is when you like.
Bro,
100%. They're the most important ones, bro. Not dropping the points.
I'll be real. Are we still do? I feel like this. It's only Luton thing should have stopped about 8 weeks, about 8 games into the season. I think we saw enough.
These men are an issue still.
Yeah, bro, these men they're not dead, bro. They're good.
Bro, this is the thing, bro. Let's be real. When they all came up, Luton, Burnley, and Sheffield United came up here, yes, we all thought, oh, Sheffield United and Burnley, they played some good football. Bro, no, Sheffield United and Burnley, they're not it, right? Luton have caused all of us problems, right? This whole
Every man
Luton,
problem, bro.
Yep.
and Luton, they are a problem. We've got them in the FA Cup.
Yeah.
I'm going.
Yeah, away
today.
next week.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm going, right?
I-
It's not a foregone conclusion because Luton, they've grown into the Premier
Yeah.
League. Like they've
they have.
started to score goals and whatever as well. And Luton,
Guys,
and this is
gonna have
it's the
to
time
shoot.
of the season, man.
Guys, I'm gonna have to shoot just for time, but
Yeah.
yeah,
Nah, I'm gonna wrap it up in a sec anyways. Let me just read the super chat.
Later on, well, tomorrow at Rivals, obviously, we'll speak more on the Liverpool side of things, of course. But
Yeah. Now we'll be live tomorrow. Premier League preview as well. So it's perfect. Big up,
Love.
we need to stop the Salah versus Saka and Hazard debate. I haven't seen that one, and you're right. If that is a debate, we need to stop that one immediately because Saka is not being mentioned in that one. But yeah,
But
big up
the fact that Saka comes back and just, the